Hello and welcome. I'm Rachel Pickworth from Mad Leaders, and today the topic that I'm diving into is how to set up a strategic leadership calendar. So this is for you if you're a leader yourself or if you're responsible for the performance of leaders in your organization. So over the years working with leaders, what I see is that leaders are really busy, right? Leaders are juggling all the time. They're on a hamster wheel of activity. There is so much that they have to juggle. There are weekly meetings, there are monthly meetings, there are quarterly meetings, there are daily meetings, there are meetings with their team, their direct reports, one-to-ones, the meetings with the team, the meetings with peers, the meetings with the more senior management, the one-to-ones with their leader. They've got stakeholder meetings, they've got day-to-day meetings. It goes on and on. So there are meetings all the time. Then there's relentless email. And there is a lot that has to be actioned out of all of that. So there's the day-to-day activity, there's the day-to-day delivery. Some leaders also have a technical element to their role as well. They also are expected to develop themselves, develop their people, do the management piece of who's got leave and who hasn't got leave. They've got to do delivery planning. They've got to find mentors. They have to mentor. They have to lead. They have to manage. It's endless, and it's the same day after day after day. Now, there are two types of leaders that I've observed over the years. One is the leader that I call below the line. The below the line leader is the leader who is scrambling. So head above water, the legs are going like crazy underneath the water, and there is always endless reactive operational activity. That's the majority. And then there are the few leaders that have managed to work it out, or they've been taught by somebody. They've worked out how to organize their time, their structure their calendar, how to set up systems for themselves so they're set for success. It's kind of like if you think about a business, what happens when we set up a business is we set up systems in a business to simplify things and make things work like clockwork. Yet for some reason, we don't apply that same thinking to the role of a leader. And so what I have done over the years is I've taken what I've observed and formulated and crafted systems and templates and tools for leaders to support them to elevate up above the red line where they're feeling organized, they're feeling strategic, they're feeling in control, they're proactive, they're planned. And what I say in my program, Elevate in 90 Days, is when we dive into the strategic calendar, we spend 3 lessons on the strategic calendar and how to set that up powerfully, and also how to set up meetings within that. We spend 3 weeks on that because I'm telling you now, a calendar is a leader's best friend. And if they learn and understand how to set up a strategic leadership calendar, the calendar will then support them to deliver the leadership and management activity on so many levels that's required of them. So a strategic leadership calendar means we are stepping back from the day-to-day and we're looking at the year ahead. We're looking at quarterly meetings. Now, you may think, why quarterly meetings? Not everyone needs to run a quarterly meeting, and I would challenge that thinking. The thing is that if you look at an organization and you look at the senior levels of an organization, generally those senior levels are having quarterly board meetings or quarterly senior management or executive meetings. And what they're doing in those meetings is they are thinking into the future. They're thinking either into the future in terms of years, in terms of the year ahead, in terms of the months ahead. And usually they've got that longest strategic view and then they bring it back into so what needs to happen in the next quarter. And the power here is when a leader has the ability to understand how to take that more senior information or whatever meeting that they're attending, right? So if you think about the executive level, then you may think about you've got perhaps another layer of senior leadership, senior managers there, and they would have a quarterly. So what happens is we have the quarterly at, say, the executive level, and then you've got another meeting that comes after that where the people that attended that top meeting then come and filter that information through and make it relevant to their business area. And then ideally there's another meeting that follows on from that and then another meeting that follows on from that. So wherever you're at in terms of those levels in the organization, it's about what meeting have you just attended that's translating the vision, the objectives down from those higher strategic objectives. How do they get translated down, and what do you need to do to take that, to bring that down and translate it through into your group, your team? How do you take those strategic objectives, whatever it is that you've been privy to, how do you bring that down and communicate that? And it's really powerful if you act as if you're a senior manager, whether you're a senior manager or not. So you act as if. So what are those quarterly meetings? How can you set up 2 or 3 hour quarterly meetings in the calendar? They're set in stone. Everyone knows they're coming. They know what to expect. And then you're organized. You can look ahead from that quarterly view to the next 12 months and bring it down into, what do we need to do as a team? What do we need to achieve as a team in the next 3 months? How does that translate into a delivery plan? And then we talk about and the when will that be delivered, and the who will be delivering that. So that's the high level quarterly strategic view of a calendar. And then we look at the monthly meetings that fit within that. We look at the weekly meetings and even daily meetings if it's relevant to your team and to the leader in the program. And so why we spend time on looking at their strategic calendar is that if the organization has a group of leaders in the business who are all set up with strategic calendars, who all have that quarterly view, are having those quarterly meetings for 2 hours or 3 hours. And by the way, I provide everything in the program around not only how to set up this strategic calendar, but what to include in those quarterly meetings, what to include in the monthly and the weekly meetings. What are the things you should be considering? I provide the lists, I provide the templates, I even provide icebreaker games to include in the beginning of quarterlies or monthlies should you need them. So the strategic calendar includes everything from those core meetings that should be in place where everyone's invited and they know what to expect and your leadership is predictable and everyone feels like you're in control and you're structured. They know what to expect. They know what these meetings are about. And they also can have an opportunity. I dive into this in the program too. They have an opportunity to run aspects of these meetings because all of these meetings provide opportunities for you to develop your people. The other element to this is the one-on-ones, making sure that everyone's in the calendar. There's another video that could be around here somewhere that you can click on that's about how to deliver effective one-on-ones. So I dive into how to structure those into the calendar, how to structure meetings in the calendar with your manager and even your 2-up manager, with mentors, with stakeholders. So if we can get this strategic calendar in place, you're going to be highly effective. And if you're someone responsible for elevating leaders in the business, this is going to transform the way they operate. But not only that, it's going to transform the way they feel. They're going to start feeling like they're in control and they know what they're doing and they've got this. They've got this under control. There's a calmness that comes over them because they are in control. So that's the strategic calendar. I'm not going into it in a deep level, but I wanted you to understand what the strategic calendar is all about, how it's your best friend or the best friend of leaders in the organization that you may be responsible for in terms of development. I hope that helps. If you want to know more about my Elevate in 90 Days program, then there'll be a button here and you can click on that and learn more. I run 4 public programs a year. We have, I think it's February, May, July, September, something like that. And it fits within school holidays typically. And there are 4 of those a year. If you're interested, I'd love to have you on the program. And if you want to know more, there's a button below. Check it out. And I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.